your radio?
Yes, already.
It's almost showtime.
Who's your favorite talk radio personality?
That's Todd. He's weird.
Monday through Friday.
He's strange. 5 to 7. Sloppy.
I mean, he sounds perfect.
He's dreamy.
What do you say? Let's get it going.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Who wants to have some fun? I do. Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook and YouTube. Abbreviated show tonight. We got UD basketball. Pregame starts just around 7 o'clock. The Flyers are hosting George Mason at the UD Arena. An A-10 showdown. So we've got 60 minutes to do a show. We have a pair of tickets to give away to Classic Albums Live. Queen, News of the World. You're going to be performing that February 7th, Victoria Theater. Just be listening for We Will Rock You. Also, we have another current events quiz. We didn't do them for a while. And then people complained. They say, I like it when you do that. And I'm like, okay. So we have a Evening Edge jackpot mug that you can win. And we've got some other things to talk about. But let's get into this. Damn it, dog, right here at the beginning.
Damn it, dog.
Damn it, dog. And I want to bring in my buddy Ron. So, Ron, you had this story about this guy in Shelby County.
Yes.
And I was confused about something, not your reporting, but I didn't hear the entire story. From what I understand, these two dogs, just innocent dogs, did they jump in the river or did they walk out onto ice?
I didn't get a clear definition
of
how that happened, but the way it sounds, the dogs ended up in the water.
Right.
I'm guessing, and it would just be a guess, that they went out there on the ice and they fell through. And then he went down to get them. And as he did, he also went into the water.
Now, see, so, I got to give the guy credit for at least making the attempt to try to retrieve his dogs.
Sure.
But my thought when I heard that was, if in fact the dogs fell through the ice, isn't it logical that the man would undoubtedly fall through the ice? You know what I mean? It's
if
like
the ice was thin enough for the dogs to
fall
through.
Yeah. And I started thinking, it's like, well, we don't live by any large body of water. If Lily or Luna somehow got loose and walked out onto an ice-filled pond or whatever, as much as I love my dogs, there's no way I'm going out there, because if anybody's going to fall through the ice, it's me. I'm going to fall right through the ice like a brick.
Right.
I
think it was
or a boulder.
And just again, assuming here, I'm thinking he tried to reach out there to try to get them from land. You know what I mean? Hopefully
that could be
enough to the bank. And he probably thought, I'm going to reach out. And then, like a Three Stooges film, he fell in. I mean, the good thing is that they all got pulled out and they're all okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the great story. And in fact, the guy who fell through, they said, at least the story I saw on WHIO.com, is after they pulled him out, they checked him right there on the spot. And he was fine. He didn't have to go to the hospital or anything like that. So
yes.
Yeah. So that's good. I've seen those videos from time to time, on social media where a dog is caught out in a river or a pond or whatever. And people, you just see him jumping in, trying to save the dog. And the other thought that I had is, if they were out on the ice, I kind of thought, well, if they got out on the ice, they could probably get back. You know what I mean? I've seen that before, where people want to go out and try to save. Well, if the dog's out on the ice, if was able to get out there without falling through, then they could probably get back. And maybe it's like the cat in the tree. The cat got up there.
Yeah.
The cat's just not interested in coming down. When the cat's ready to come down, more than likely, he'll come down.
And the dog will get spooked. I mean, sometimes he'll just get out there and in a place that he doesn't know.
Right.
And then looks around, and then you're just yelling and waving for him to come
Yeah,
back. And
yeah.
he's just like, I'm staying right here.
Well, see, I've noticed that before. Our dogs haven't gotten loose, like off their leash very often. But not long after we got Lily, she somehow got loose. And I was chasing her around the yard, trying to get her. And it just dawned on me at that moment. It's like, she's not going to let me catch her. Right. Not because she wants to run free. She just likes the chase.
It's fun.
It's fun. So finally I just stopped chasing her. And I've told this story. This was a long time ago. I was yelling, Lily, 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 like a madman trying to catch the dog. Our neighbors have a young daughter named Lily, and it was summertime. And I'm sure Lily heard me yelling from inside her home. Like, what is that crazy guy doing? But Lily, the dog, when I finally came around the house, she was standing in front of the door, right? The front door. Went up the porch and was waiting to go back inside. So now, speaking of dogs, you've got some dogs.
Yes, we have two.
And Luna, our oldest, it was just her. We just celebrated her gotcha day.
Okay.
Do you do that?
A gotcha day.
Well, there's the birthday.
Yeah.
Right. When the dog is born, obviously, but we got our dog secondhand. So we weren't 100% sure on certain days, but with Luna, we picked a date that was close to where we think would be accurate.
Okay.
And then there's the gotcha day, and that's the day that you got them from whomever you got the dog from.
Sure.
So it's like a two holiday deal.
Yeah, we don't do that much celebrating in our house, so
Well, I was going to ask that because Mary and I have talked before about, well, should we do something for the dogs' birthdays? Because here's the thing, she and I don't have children of our own, and the dogs are kind of like our kids. So, should we have some celebration? And I've sort of always been, they're dogs. I don't know that they're really going to care.
Well, what you should really do is throw a party and invite a bunch of people.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, Ron. I found a story of a dog owner who threw a birthday party for her dog. Now, this did take place in India, and I don't know if this woman is loaded or what the deal is, but she has a 6-year-old dog. It's a Rottweiler named Rose. And Rose just celebrated her 6th birthday on January 5th. This woman in India, the story that I saw, spent $5,000 on a birthday party for her dog. The cake was $500, and she invited over 300 guests. Now that seems a bit extreme.
Maybe they just do everything bigger in India.
Well, maybe so, but she says, Rose, she got in 2019. They've been doing this every year. Every year they have a big party for the dog. And she says the party reflects her unique bond and described the dog as her daughter. So when I saw that, I thought, well, maybe I'm missing the boat here. Maybe we should be having parties for the dog.
Okay.
And inviting, and I don't know if we just invite other people, or should this be like a kid's birthday party where you invite a bunch of other dogs? And then I start thinking, it's like, do I want to clean up all that? Probably not.
There's a lot of logistics involved with getting a lot of dogs in there.
Yeah. I remember seeing a story where somebody had a pool party for the dogs. Like, it was very, very hot, and this particular family had an in-ground pool. So they invited all of their friends' dogs over. And I remember seeing video of this, and it's like 20 dogs just hanging out around the pool. Some of the dogs are on chaise lounges. Some of the dogs are in the pool. Some of the dogs are doing what dogs do, sniffing each other. It was, and I'm just curious if people around here really do that, or if it's just rich people in India who spend thousands and thousands of dollars for a dog's birthday party.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I know one person that wouldn't be doing it.
You?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. I'm just not sure, but I'll tell you what, I think Mary would love it. If next year, or not next year, but later this year, when it's Lily and/or Luna's birthday party, if I said, "Hey, let's have a birthday party for the dogs," I think she'd be all in.
Well, I'm gonna wait on the invitation. So,
all right,
just
yeah.
If I don't get invited, then I'll be all dramatic and I won't talk to you for like a week.
You'll feel rejected, and
I didn't get invited to your dog's party, so I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just do that for a while.
Now it begs the question: if I'm going to be open to this, do we have one party, like for both dogs, or do we have two parties?
Oh, individual parties,
See,
or just lump them together.
Yeah, my mom and dad used to throw my sister and I birthday parties, for our friends to come over.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in September, so the weather was always beautiful, and I mean it might have been warm, but it was it was nice out. We'd have scavenger hunts and games. It's my parents really went all out on that sort of thing. Unfortunately for my sister, she was born and her birthday is just a few days away, January 18th. And there were years where the birthday party was canceled because of the snow.
Right.
And people risked life and limb so they could come over and have some birthday cake.
Yeah.
But so I don't know.
Sorry for those people who had a birthday like a couple of days after Christmas.
Oh yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Here's your Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Here's your birthday gift. We'll see you next year. Basically, is how that goes.
Yeah. So if you've ever had a birthday party for your dog, or maybe you're thinking about it, or you've attended one, I'd love to get your take on it.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All right, everybody. What's happening? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Hey, Nathan, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. Appreciate you listening. Popsicles. Yep. Sorry, Aaron. Ooh, a McDonald's kids burger today. That's exciting. Lily would love that. Luna would be sick for a week afterwards. She's got gastrointestinal problems, so she can't eat anything that has any fat, any high fat or really any fat, to be honest. But Lily will eat anything. Thank you, Ron. Concentration. That's the key. Concentration. Burger and fries. That's a nice birthday meal for a doggy.
Dayton Flyers are back home tonight. We'll have the latest at 5:30 now. Back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
You ain't going to want to miss this.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. You watch a live stream on Facebook and YouTube. I saw this story a week or so ago, and put aside the political aspect of this story just for a second. So I have a tattoo. I actually have two tattoos. My wife has a number of tattoos. And I believe one of the tattoos she got when she was maybe underage, and she got consent from her mom. But she was maybe like 17. I think that's right. She'll correct me later. But I saw this story. There was a girl in Arizona who went to a tattoo parlor in Yuma, and her parents signed the waiver for her to get a tattoo. Now, the tattoo that she wanted, okay? The tattoo that she wanted was a neck tattoo of Donald Trump. And the tattoo artist apparently really worked hard to try to convince she and her parents maybe that's not the best idea. Only because of a neck tattoo. So he convinced her to get an American flag instead. And they put the flag, and I saw a picture of it, they put it on her arm, right? The girl was 9 years old. 9 years old. And in Arizona, as it is here in Ohio, and I just looked up, the law. Any child under the age of 18 must have permission from their parent to get a tattoo, get their ears pierced, any sort of procedure like that. You have to have mom and dad's permission. But I didn't see anything in there about an age. That's the bottom line, right? Like anybody under 10, forget it, you can't do it. Though babies get their ears pierced. So I'm just curious if anybody has signed off for their young child to get a tattoo. It doesn't matter if she wanted Donald Trump or she wanted, American flag, whatever. It doesn't matter. She could have wanted a skull. It doesn't matter. But would anybody ever consider allowing their 9-year-old to get a tattoo? I'm just glad she didn't get it on her neck. Because if you're an adult and you do that, that's your choice. I don't think it's a great choice, but I get it, whatever. But doing that at 9, really? Wow.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
I just can't even imagine that. Nine years old. And here's the thing. I didn't mention this not because, I had some ulterior motive, but I just didn't think it was particularly relevant. The family is from another country, and they came here to build a new life and live in America, and they are big supporters of Donald Trump. And I guess culturally, where they're from, it's not unusual for children to have tattoos. But my thought was, but that's not this culture. So just because it's your culture at home, wherever you're from, that's not the culture here. So if you're going to assimilate, you probably need to follow that, I don't know. That's crazy. Well, Kelly, that's an excellent point, you know. Yeah, I mean, as she gets older, it's going to change. As she gets bigger, it's going to change. Yeah, I just can't believe that, but Clinton, that's funny. But see, here's the thing, like the difference between piercing your ears and getting a tattoo is like night and day, right? I mean, you can get your ears pierced and then at some point decide that you don't want your ear pierced. And you just take the thing out and eventually it might close up, or if nothing else, you have a little dot on your ear like I do because I used to have my ear pierced. But a tattoo on your neck? I mean, and here's the other thing. It's like, again, I'm not trying to be political with this. I don't care what anybody wants to do, but it's the same reason that my wife won't get my name tattooed on her back. She's got, and I've talked about this, she has a heart tattoo with this sort of sash going through it, and it's a perfect space for a name. And she won't do it because she doesn't want to jinx it. Right? So it's like she doesn't want to put that on there, and then God forbid something goes south with our marriage, and then she's got my stupid name on her back. That's not good. Well, it's the same with any president or anybody. I mean, you might love somebody now, but you may not love them in, 4 years or 8 years or whatever. Be like, oh, that was a mistake. It's like, somebody out there has a Sean Puffy P. Daddy Combs tattoo. They'd be like, oh, that didn't turn out very well. Well, I'll tell you, Clinton, I think it's because probably mom and dad are. And mom and dad are probably super avid. And they're like, why not? This is great. Woo!
Fantastic.
Let's get on with it. It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream up on Facebook and YouTube. We have a current events quiz. The prize tonight, an Evening Edge jackpot coffee mug. If you'd like to take the quiz, you can win that coffee mug, 937-457-1290. Be caller number 5. And Ian, my producer tonight, will get you on hold and get you on the air, and we'll take the current events quiz. I don't know if you've been following this story. This was a video that went viral. I guess this may have been over the weekend. I don't think it was the weekend before. I think it was this past weekend. There was video of a fan at a Philadelphia Eagles game. They were taking on the Packers, and it was an older guy, and standing in front of him was a younger woman and her fiance. And they were Packer fans, and he's a Eagle fan. And she cheered because the Packers did something great on the field. Well, this Eagles fan starts berating her, calling her the C word, and then an ugly C word. And the whole time her fiance is recording this. And this guy is just letting her have it. Just vulgar, nasty. And, I honestly don't follow a ton of professional football. I mean, I'll watch it if it comes on, for a few minutes or whatever. But the one thing I've always heard is that the Philadelphia Eagles, and I looked it up today, there's stories I saw, are some of the most rude football fans in the NFL. Well, this video went viral. The fiance was like, all I could do is really record the video. I wasn't going to make it physical because this jerk was there with 2 other guys. So if he tried to start something there in the stands, he's probably going to get his butt kicked. And then he's going to get kicked out of the game, the whole deal. It's like, just let it go. Well, they posted this video, of course, and people were like, we need to find out who this person is. And they did. And yesterday, the management consulting firm that he works for in New Jersey fired him. They fired him. And they were like, their statement, we condemn our former employee's conduct in the strongest possible ways. The individual's conduct and language were vile, disgusting, unacceptable, and horrific, and have no place in our workplace and society. Such conduct is not what we are, and we won't stand for it. So they booted this guy from his job because of something he was doing on his own time. But that needs to be a lesson to everybody. It needs to be. It's not just some celebrity or some well-known person. Like if I went and lost my mind on somebody, I would be out of a job like that because I'm a quote-unquote public person. And as much as it would irritate me, I would understand. It's happened to people in this radio and TV market before. But it goes for anybody now. If you put on that sort of display publicly and people, find out it's caught on video and find out who you are, they're coming after you. So you just need to be careful. Just keep that in mind. Let's talk to, we got Lindsay in Miamisburg. Hey, Lindsay.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Now it says you're in Miamisburg. If you don't mind, you sound like a young lady.
Yeah, I just turned 34 last month.
Oh, 34. Okay.
Yeah.
honestly, I thought you sound much younger than that. I thought
Thank you.
I thought we had a teenager on the line.
Oh, thanks.
I hope that's not an insult.
No.
Good. All right. Well, Lindsay, you want to play the current events quiz, right?
Yes.
Let's get it going here.
Listen, everybody. It's the Evening Edge Current Events Quiz.
Quiz, hot shot.
Can you answer the question?
I bet you think you're pretty smart, huh?
Now, here's your host, Todd Hollst.
Lindsay, you okay? You doing all right?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just laughing. I told my husband that you thought I was a teenager.
Well, let me ask you this. How long have you been listening to the show?
Only like a year.
Only like a year. That's pretty good. I mean, I've only been on for like, 4 or 5 years? I mean, that's not bad. You found the show and you stuck with it.
I started listening to you because of him. So.
You married a good man.
I
married
did.
a good man. All right, we're going to take the current events quiz. You're playing for an Evening Edge Jackpot coffee mug. Now, do you know how to play the current events quiz?
Every answer is C.
That's right. I'm going to give you 3 questions, 3 possible answers, and it's always C. All right. Now, tonight's questions all have to do with naked guys.
First, we both get naked.
Let's get naked.
Why are you naked? I didn't know you were naked.
He saw me naked.
I think we should get naked.
Be naked.
I am naked.
All right, Lindsay, here's question number 1. A 34-year-old New York man was arrested after cops say he busted into a house in Michigan stark naked and demanded what from the homeowner? Was it A, a grilled cheese sandwich and a bag of chips, B, a shower towel and the use of his loofah, or C, the 12 women of color he was promised?
C.
You got it. Not sure why he was expecting there to be 12 women of color or really 12 women at all at this particular house, and why he was promised, we don't know. Maybe it was just something he dreamt up, but either way, he was arrested.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Here's question number 2. A 60-year-old Salt Lake City man was arrested after cops say he broke into an apartment and began doing what in the kitchen? A, reorganizing the pantry. B, chomping down on dog treats. Or C, emptying the cabinets, throwing food, and smashing a pineapple.
C.
You got it. Though I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind if somebody broke in and reorganized our pantry.
That would be nice.
Oh my gosh, the pantries, they can get out of hand very quickly.
It definitely can.
Yeah. All right, here's question number 3 for the big win. A 53-year-old Connecticut man was arrested after cops say he rode his bike naked past a church, yelling profanities and wearing what strapped to his head? A pie tin of quiche. B, a cactus in a pot, or C, a sex toy on a helmet?
C.
You got it. Just visualize that.
I did.
And the guy previously was arrested for basically doing the same thing, riding his bike naked, but that time he was wearing a cowboy hat.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay, congratulations. You are the winner. Hang on the line, and we'll get your information, and I will contact you on how you can get your coffee mug, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, hang on there, and that's how you play the current events quiz. Next Monday, of course, is 2 things. 1, it's Martin Luther King Day. And that is a holiday for Cox Media Group, and I will not be on. But it is also Inauguration Day. And I was thinking about this. You know, one thing that people often talk about is how much the president of the United States gets paid. And when you hear that they get paid $400,000, it may seem like a lot, but it's a big job, right? But $400,000, kind of a drop in the bucket when you figure that most of these people who are serving are already millionaires, right? So I thought this was kind of interesting. I did a little research, and what I found, I didn't realize that for the longest time, the president, they were making considerably more in the past than they are now when you take in inflation. Take into consideration the inflation. There have been 5 pay raises for the president since George Washington took office in 1789. The last one was in 2001 when George W. Bush was president. His salary went from $200,000 to $400,000. Now, here's where it's interesting. In 1789, George Washington made $25,000 a year. When you take into account inflation, it was $896,000. That's a lot of money. And let's not forget, there weren't as many states or as many people. The next pay raise took place in 1873. Ulysses S. Grant was the president. He made $50,000. For inflation, $1.3 million. He was making over $1 million to be, the spending power. 1909, it went up to $75,000. That was Howard Taft. In today's money, $2.6 million. 1949, it went up again. Harry S. Truman. $100,000 a year, roughly about $1.3 million in today's money. 1969 is when it changed to $200,000. And that was, of course, Richard Nixon. That money today, roughly $1.7 million. That's the kind of spending power. And then in 2001 is when George W. Bush made $400,000. And even then, that was about $712,000. So, I used to think, boy, that's a lot of money for being president. Our modern day presidents are not really making as much as their predecessors did from last century and centuries before. It's crazy. It was just interesting, I thought.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Showboating. I'll admit I am a bit of a showboater. Oh, that's funny. Excessive celebration. My first job in radio, I made maybe $3.80 an hour. Something like that. Ah, Aaron, that's a good idea. I used to do a bit called What's for Dinner? And I just call some random number and find out what people were having for dinner. I could do that. I could have like, hey, if you'd like me to call you some night and find out what you're having for dinner, send me your name and phone number. And I'll just call you live on the air and ask you what you're having for dinner.
Heating, Air, and Plumbing Studios. Breathe easy. Choose McAfee. Call today or visit mcair.com. This is WHIO Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill. All news, all the time.
Shocking details in a meat recall. We'll have the latest at 6. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst at 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
This is a job for Weenie Man.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Aaron on the live stream just gave me a great idea. She said, Todd, since your show is during dinner hours, you should have a segment with different dinner recipes using Cheez-Its as the ingredient. Now, that's not a bad idea. But it reminded me that years and years ago, when I was a fledgling baby radio person, I used to do a bit where it was called What's for Dinner? And I would just dial some random number in the phone book, and I'd get them on the air, and I'd ask them what they were having for dinner. And the people were just usually very confused. Like, one, they didn't know who I was, what I was doing. They were confused. I get that. But I'm thinking I could do that on this show, but give you, the Edgeheads, the opportunity to participate. This is something I'm going to think about, because I could do a bit where if you want me to call you, if you want a call from your radio friend Todd, you could send me your name and phone number, and I just might randomly call you one night, live on the air, and find out what you're having for dinner. That might be kind of interesting. It's not something I would do every time, every night. But maybe we could do it on a Thursday night, so that way everybody would know. Oh, is he going to call tonight? Is tonight the night that weirdo's going to call and ask us what we're having for dinner? I kind of like that idea. And you know what? We could get it sponsored. Oh, my gosh. We have some very creative people that listen to this show. It's all part of the creative process. Well, have a good night. We got UD basketball coming up. The Flyers are hosting George Mason. It's an A-10 showdown. The Flyers are 11-5. George Mason 12-5. Tip-off at 7. Pregame starts at 6. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow just after 5 here on the Evening Edge.
He's done. It's over. He's finished.
Sorry, buddy. Show's over.
Say good night to the bad guy.
Now give me a kiss and say goodnight.
Good riddance, you loony.
All right, everybody. Have a terrific night, and I will see you tomorrow. Be safe and be warm.